Speaking of, these teams might need yoga and meditation based on all the stress trying to figure out who's going to take those two final wildcard spots in the West. I don't know if we can throw those up again, but Dallas kind of hanging on by a thread here. We've seen the Vegas Golden Knights really fall off over the last month or so. They're 1 point out. The Canucks, they're 4 points back right now, and the Winnipeg Jets squandering a great opportunity last night. They led 2-0 in that game and ended up losing to the Ottawa Senators. So I'll ask you guys, how do you think this thing plays out? Does anybody catch those two teams in the wild card right now, Nashville and Dallas?
I think Vegas's best route is to catch the third place in the Pacific team. I don't think anybody, Winnipeg or Vancouver included, can pass up the two central teams. To me, Dallas, with the 4 games in hand on some of the people chasing them, that's really large. That's going to be hard to overcome. Nashville, they look like a team that, they hit the bump in the road a little bit here, but they've played so well, and they look like they got staying power. So the only real available path I see for any team, whether that be Vancouver or Vegas, is to catch either L.A. or Edmonton.
Yeah, I agree with you lots. I think it's going to be 5 in the Central, and I think Winnipeg's going to be the team that's going to be out, and it might be because of that loss against Ottawa last night. I mean, you can't lose those games if you're in a playoff hunt. There are only 5 games over 500. You're probably going to need, let's say, 94 points. Maybe that might be
12 over.
Yeah, and they're 5, so they've got to be 7 or it's going to be very difficult for Winnipeg to get there. So they didn't do themselves any favors to try to get in the top 5 in the Central. And on the other side of that, as we watch, you can see the frustration. I mean, this was, and the tough part about Winnipeg is this city was buzzing. This team had been playing extremely good hockey. They were scoring goals. Everybody was getting into it. The city was starting to get a real good feel for real buzz. And then that third period, it was just like, you talk about popping a balloon and watching it spin around. That's pretty much the way Winnipeg felt last night. I'm not sure with Los Angeles, the injuries they've got on the back end. Drew Doughty's going to be out the length of time they're talking about. And if this young group on the back end, we talked to Tom McClellan yesterday about it, he's got a lot of young guys stepping up and playing fantastic hockey. The veteran guys have stepped up. Goaltending's been good. It's going to be difficult. As much as we talk about Vegas's injuries, the Los Angeles Kings' injuries are just as significant. And it's going to be very interesting to see which of those teams, I'm not going to say limps into the playoffs, but which of those teams gets in. Will LA be able to hang on? Because I really think Edmonton's coming on. I think Edmonton's got things going, even though their goaltending's still question mark, but they're coming on.
6th hardest schedule left of all the teams for the Edmonton Oilers. LA, on the other hand, one of the easier ones. Winnipeg also one of the easier schedules as we turn our attention to things like that in our free time.
All right.